Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am Jasmine Michelle. If you're new here and you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. Today's video is going to be about my journey through my weight loss. I'm going to take you all through how I went from 220 to 170 and what I'm doing right now. So I had been 150 for like 2 years straight through high school. Like junior and senior year, I was 150 pounds and it really didn't move. Obviously, I was a child, you know, your metabolism is different as you grow up. It changes. I wasn't really aware of that. Here's a picture of me in 2019 when I started to notice I was gaining a little bit of weight. I moved out of my mother's house in May of 2019. I got into a relationship in 2019. So this was around that time, like the beginning in like May. I was stressed because I was also going to school. I had just moved out, so it was like all these bills all of a sudden I had to start paying. I was on birth control. I was in the depot shop. So it was just a lot going on emotionally. And then by the end of that, this is how it looked on my 20th birthday that year. And I felt different about myself. I seen a complete difference from earlier that year to where I was at. I was stressed out a lot. And then 2020 hit, so it was COVID, so I wasn't really going anywhere. I did try to eat healthy. I would make like healthy meals. I just wasn't moving enough. I use my video diaries. Like the only reason why I use Snapchat is to record my video diaries. And I watch it back through my memories every day. I watch my memories every day so I can see like my video diaries 2, 3, 4 years ago, what was going on, how I was feeling, what my mentality was. And recently I seen a memory where I told myself I was going to start running once a week. I'm going to try to go running once a week. So I'm going to try to go running tomorrow, actually, on Wednesday. If it doesn't rain. Once a week? I was going to start exercising. I remember doing home workouts in 2020. Like, just like mountain climbers and stuff like that. But it was only for like 30 minutes. And it was like twice a week, if that. And I thought that I was going to do something for real. Here I am on my 21st birthday. This was in 2020. I look back now like that was me when I was 21. It doesn't look nothing like me. This is me in 2021. The gym's open back up and everything. I wasn't going to the gym. I actually started going out more. I found a whole group of friends and I was going out like almost every weekend. So I was drinking, getting drunk. My mental health was deteriorating, but I started gaining more confidence in my body. So it was kind of a shift mentally for me. I wasn't going to the gym, so I wasn't moving enough, and I was still consuming probably way more than I should have. And this is me like that summer of 2021. I wasn't happy with my body at all, but I tried to keep my confidence up. And I even started to, words are very powerful, and so I started to try to keep telling myself like, you know what, I'm just gonna love myself in this body. I'm gonna love myself just like this, because obviously I'm never gonna get back to how I was in high school. I was how I was in high school because I was a child. I was 17, whatever, you know, like I just was believing that. 2021, I had got out of my relationship. I been stopped going to school. When like COVID started, school kind of took a back seat, and then it got out the car. Like, got out of my relationship. I started working on myself immediately. I think like that next week I started going to the gym. I bought a sweatband. I started doing more at-home workouts, the Chloe Ting and all of that. Really tried to start working on myself. Honestly, I cut out all sugars and sweets. That's when I really did start trying to love myself. Before, I was just telling myself that I was going to do that, but at this point I was really like dressing different, acting different, and my mental health really, it didn't seem like it on the surface. It seemed like everything was okay, but on the inside, when I got home and laid in my bed, BoJack Horseman on Netflix was my favorite show, and I'm gonna just leave it right there. Then 2022 came. This is what I looked like by then. In the beginning, when I was going out and stuff, I had lost all of my friends. I fell into this very deep depression, point where I didn't eat. Like, I kind of stopped eating, not for weight loss purposes, but just because I was sad all the time and I really didn't want to eat. That wasn't my comfort anymore. My financial situation wasn't great. My social life took a big 180. I was just very sad. Everything just felt very dark. I ended up moving back in with my mom. Now when I moved out in May of 2019 is because she was moving to Georgia, and she moved there in June of 2019. So I ended up moving in with her. And at first it was quite rough. I didn't know anybody in Georgia. I had been in Florida since I was like 11 years old. And I was very bored. Like, we was out in the suburbs in the boonies, Stone Mountain. So like, I would go to the gym after work. I got off work at 11 o'clock. So I would just go to the gym. And I was working outside. I used to drive the trucks. If you follow me on TikTok, you can see some of my truck driving videos. I used to be like a yard jockey for Amazon. And so I would be outside in the Georgia heat all day. I started eating way less. I didn't have any money. So I think for me, the journey was kind of subconscious, because when I moved in with my mom, I had no money. After the move, and I stopped going to work because for my transfer, I had to have time off work to move, and then they gave me extra time off to start my new shift. So I finally got paid. I had to really budget, and that's when I was really into like envelope stuffing. So I would pull everything out in cash, because how I save money is in cash. If it's on my card, I'm gonna swipe it. If it's in my savings, I'm gonna do a quick transfer and nobody will know, and I would swipe my card. But if it's in cash, I'll leave it at home. I'll forget about it. I don't even know I got it. Yeah, so I started getting really big into envelope stuffing, and then I would make sure that I only spent like $50 a week on food. And Aldi, we became besties. We was locked in, because I used to get my breakfast, lunch, and any snacks and stuff like that from Aldi, and it was all like $50. That was it. And this is me in September, going to the gym, eat my foods. Every single day I had the exact same food. I'll get me a glass of water with some lemon, like 2 eggs, 3 sausages. Some days I would add toast with avocado on it, spice it up a little bit. But for the most part, I was eating that, and I had some spinach. That's what I ate every single day for breakfast. Every single day for lunch, I had me some salmon, and I would get some okra and tomatoes, and I would have that every single day. Later on, like after I ate my lunch, I would always eat this yogurt. It was like yogurt with granola and fruit. And that's all, literally all I would have all day. Like, I would have an apple here and there. I used to keep a bag of grapes on me all the time. And that was just here and there stuff, but those was like the 3 main things that I ate every single day. That was the most cost efficient thing for me to eat. And it was helping, because this is how I looked in September. So, and I was going to the gym, and I was outside a lot. I was sunlight. And I really am a firm believer of the more sunlight you have, the happier you are, because I feel like that really helped me also. Just, maybe it didn't have anything to do with my weight loss, but it definitely did have something to do with my mental. I feel like all that ties together. Your mental health and your physical health are like one. I got off social media completely. I didn't even talk to anybody really for like 2-3 months, and changed my life. I started reading. I read this book. I'll put it up here if you all know of it or want to read it. And because I was outside, like I said, in that Georgia heat, I drank my 8 bottles of water every single day. And I kept a water app tracker, like a water reminder. Today I only have had, it's not gonna focus. Today I've only had 2. That's a lie, I just had 1. I just gotta log it. But so I was making sure I track those my waters. I was never really big into calorie counting, and I didn't have money to buy a food scale and stuff like that. I just made sure like what I was eating was good and it was healthy. Where my mom lived, we didn't live around nowhere. Like, it took a good 10 minutes to get to somewhere to eat if you want to eat some fast food. Here and there I would. Sometimes at my job, people will like DoorDash from like American Deli, and I would eat some of that because they, it was like vegetable rice with their wings. Man, it was really good. But started looking more and more into stuff. Like, I started buying these Yasso bars, these right here, 100 calories per bar. I think it's like 2 to 5 grams of protein, something like that. And it also, I was able to get down to this. I was losing weight. I only had 1 scale in the house, and it was in her bathroom, and I could not get on that scale like too many times. She was like once every 2 weeks, you can get on it, because she went through something, she said, where she was just watching the scale and it would change her whole mood. So every time I got on it, I would see a decrease. I didn't really start weighing myself until I got into like the 199s. Once I got on that scale at the doctor and it was like 220, like 2 years prior, I was just like, no. I'm not doing it no more. 2021 or something like that. Like, I got on that scale in the doctor's office and it was 220. I never stepped foot on it again until I was 199. But that's because also I was seeing differences. Like, I was looking at myself every day. I'm checking it out. And also I felt a little different. So when I got on the scale, I was like 199. I was like, no way I'm in it was such a long time that I had been in the 190s. I was crazy. And then the craziest thing is, I weighed myself when I was 190 and this is how I looked. But the last time I weighed 190 something, this was how I looked. And it was in like 2020. It was the same weight and I looked completely different to me. I remember I seeing myself in like 188 and I was like, shut up. By the time my birthday came, I looked really good. I feel like I was doing really well. I was always so concerned with my stomach. To this day, I am concerned with my stomach. Concerned with my love handles. Like, those are the things I mainly be focusing on. But my face lost a lot of weight. My fingers lost a lot of weight. My feet, I've always had like narrow feet, long feet, and they were always like very skinny. There was really no meat on it. I could always see the veins in my feet and stuff, and I could see it again. Versus back then, they're just fat, to the point where when I was bigger, I even gained a size in my shoe. Like, I always wore 8s, but I had to start buying 9s, and I was like, oh my gosh, what the f going on? Those little things like that, where I started to notice I was losing weight, and that I appreciate seeing now. This tattoo that I got, she was way back here. Like, I would never be able to see it unless I really pulled it or something. But now I can just look and I can see it. Same thing with this one. I got this when I was a little bigger, but it doesn't take much for me to see her now, if that makes sense. So little stuff like that I started to notice, where I was just very proud of myself. Like, yeah, we're gonna keep going. This is the lowest that I had gotten. I was like 169 in January of this year, 2023. This is how I looked, and I was very proud. I moved out of my mom's house actually last December, back to Jacksonville. This whole year has been definitely interesting. I learned a lot. One thing about losing weight is my body dysmorphia gets me every single day. At first, when I was losing, it was like motivation. Now I haven't been losing that much, and I noticed it back in like March. Like, I'm not losing anymore. I just look the same. I had been like 169 from like January to March, April, and I was just like, what's the problem? Like, I'm doing the same things, I'm eating the same way. In April, actually, though, I was like, you know what, I want to start building my booty. So I started buying more chicken. I added an extra meal that I was going to eat every day, and my stomach started getting a little bigger. And I was like, wait a minute. And then I got on the scale a couple weeks later, and now I'm 174. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh no, this can't be.
And also, life was lifing. It has been, it still is. I have been going to the gym way more than I did last year. Way more than I was doing during that time when I lost the most. Going to the gym now, way more than even that time. But what I learned was, when you're bigger, it's easier to lose weight. Because actually, I don't know for sure, but this is what I'm going to guess. I used to watch 1,000 Pound Sisters a lot, and My 600 Pound Life. They would do literally nothing. They would do exercises in the bed and lose like 10-15 pounds. I'm like, what the f? And when you have more body mass, water weight, stuff like that, when you have more, it's easier to lose. Because once you get to a certain size, you have to intensify it or change your caloric intake, do something different to get it back going again so you can get back to where you want to be. And so what I was doing at that point all year was maintaining my 169. I didn't realize I would have to change up my workouts. I was doing progressive overload, but not in the way that I should have. When I look back on my past and what I was doing, I understand how I could have done more. I got into another relationship with my current boyfriend in February of this year, and it changed my eating habits. My man be cooking for me. I love his cooking. Whatever he cook, I'ma eat it.
I'ma eat it. Ah!
Like, if you see my TikTok, this food be... Started hanging out with him a little more, go to the gym a little less, but still, I was still maintaining where I was at. When I was staying with my mom, I was so bored. I would go to the gym because I was bored. I would go to the gym right after work. Nobody was there. It was like 11:15 p.m. Nobody was at the gym. I didn't have any of those variables anymore. I no longer was working outside in the heat all day. And it was a lot of different factors that were changing in my life, and I didn't really take that into consideration, that it was going to have to be different. I was like, I know exactly what to do because this has been working. But every time I look at myself, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm getting bigger. Is my face getting bigger? I'd be in the car looking like, can I still see my lines? I'd be looking at my feet, like, what do my feet look like? Like, I'd be so scared to, like, get back to her. And I try to use that as motivation sometimes, but sometimes it's like, all in all though, I like my gym girlies that I talk to, that I see, because it is a journey. It's like, I'm going to have to, if I want to grow my booty, I'm going to have to go on a bulk. And then I'm going to have to go on a cut so I can lose my stomach. I'm going to have to intensify my workouts. I'm going to have to drop my caloric deficit and then be in a surplus if I want to grow my booty, and be in a deficit if I want to. It's not like one cutthroat way and then you're like this. Unless I want to lay on a table and spend 10 bands. Like, this is the only way. I did hit a plateau, and now that I have that knowledge, what I'm doing now is going in with my more intense workouts. I'm on a semi bulk. I'm eating a little bit more protein, working my glutes 3 times a week. I'm more strategic with what I'm doing, but just before I wasn't as strategic in what I was doing. I was just doing the same thing every single day. So now I'm more focused on certain areas than others. I'm more creative with my meals that I choose to eat, and it's actually been really fun. This is my most recent gym photo. I am proud of where I have come from, anything that I have going on in my life situations. I am very grateful that I went through everything that I did, because it definitely teaches me how strong that I am. It shows me like what I can and can't do. I proved to myself that something can be done. It's not one way. Everything is temporary. Everything is temporary. What I look like today, I probably won't look like that this time next year. How I look today, I didn't look this time last year. I definitely didn't look at this time year before that. So it's definitely a journey that I'm planning on being on the rest of my life. It's become so much more than just me trying to lose weight, or me trying to get a fat, or me trying to get a flat stomach. It's been something that I rely on for my mental health. I started loving myself way better, and I was losing weight. Not because I was losing weight, but I was losing weight. I feel good when I get out of the gym. I feel ready. I can never be a 4 a.m. gym girly and be ready for work, but I definitely can have a stressful day at work and then go to the gym and release it. And then come in the shower and lay down. I just feel good. If you want to know my split right now, I'm doing the gym 3 days a week. I have a set of exercises specifically that I'm doing for 2 days, and then one for another day. My whole the maximus I focus on twice a week. My side booty, my gluteus medius, I focus on once a week. Back and bicep and triceps, pull and push days, I do that twice a week, and then once a week I'll do my abs. And every single day I will end it with cardio, 30 minutes of cardio. If you want to see where it takes me, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Thank you all for listening. See you next time.